This is how my hair looked 4 years ago. And this is how it looks now. My hair has definitely gotten a lot longer, and I've learned a lot of things along the way that I'm super excited to share with you guys. So if you feel like your hair is not growing or it's growing super slow, it might be because of one of the things I'm about to mention. Before we get started, do you want a free hair routine? It's a simple question. It's completely free. Do you want it? Do you really want it? How bad you want it though? If you want a free hair routine going over what you should do to your hair from day 1 to day 7, you should click the link down below in the description. Go and download it. It's completely free. All I ask in return is that you like the video. Oh, I'm dead serious. First thing is, there's no hair growth shampoo. I really don't know who started this in like the whole hair growth space where like specifically people are looking for a hair growth shampoo. I think that's just because that's the only product people know of. But a shampoo is not going to grow your hair. The purpose of a shampoo is not to grow your hair. It is to clean your scalp. And I feel like we can lump this in with a whole bunch of other products too, like creams and stuff like that. These things that promote this idea that I was like, oh, this product is gonna grow your hair super fast. It's kind of deceiving. It's deceiving in a way. Because when it comes to hair growth, right, you gotta remember, hair growth comes from inside the body, the hair follicle. You know, it's pushing out through the skin. Off the top of my mind, the only thing that has been like studied to help with hair growth in terms of these products would be like hair oils, right? But specific hair oils, like essential oils, like tea tree oil, peppermint oil. A shampoo can indirectly help with hair growth, like it gets rid of debris, dead skin cells, which could hinder hair growth. Next thing that I learned is length retention is everything when it comes to hair growth. Do yourself a favor and stop searching up these videos of how to grow my hair faster, how to grow my hair overnight, how to grow my hair 6 inches in 1 week. On average, your hair grows ½ an inch every single month. And according to a certain study, African American hair grows 0.33 inches every single month. There is not much that you or I can do to speed up that number, unless you are about to defy God and the laws of physics and biology. When it comes to length retention, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to minimize breakage. And breakage is simply when the ends of your hair snap off due to mechanical stress, like stuff like you tugging at your hair, detangling your hair, styling your hair, all of that stuff. You want to minimize that as much as you can. It's impossible to completely eliminate it. You're gonna have to touch your hair at some point. You're gonna have to manipulate your hair at some point. The trick is to not overdo it. Trust me, once I made the mental shift that if I want to achieve long hair in the shortest amount of time possible, that I'm just going to have to essentially leave my hair alone and just let it do its thing, that's when you actually start to see growth. This one about to break a lot of y'all hearts. Hair type doesn't mean shit. At least it's not as important as a lot of us make it out to be, right? And what I mean by this is whether you're 4A, 4B, or 4C, the subtypes, it really doesn't change anything when it comes to choosing the products that you're gonna use or your hair routine or anything like that. Off the top of my head, hair types are good for 2 reasons. It gives you an idea of what your hair will need. For example, if you have type 1 hair or straight hair, right? You're probably gonna have an issue with your hair becoming greasy or oily a lot of the time. But if you have type 4 hair, you're probably gonna have an issue with your hair feeling dry, or you're gonna have to put a lot more emphasis into moisturizing your hair, and having your hair feel oily isn't really gonna be like a huge problem for you. But the other reason why you would want to know your hair type in terms of like 4A, 4B, 4C is it gives you an idea of how your hair is gonna look when you style it during like a curly hair routine or when your hair is wet. If somebody with type 3 hair does a curly hair routine, let's say like Nathan Xavier, for example, and I do a curly hair routine, nothing I do is gonna make my hair look like his, because we have 2 different curl patterns. In the same way, but on a smaller scale, if somebody with 4C hair does a curly hair routine, and I do a curly hair routine with my 4B hair, our hair is not gonna look the same. No matter what we do, is not gonna look the same because they have a tighter curl pattern than I do, even if we did the same steps. But when it comes to choosing hair products, like if I'm 4B and you're 4C, we can use the same hair products as long as we have the same hair porosity. And if you don't know what hair porosity is, I have a whole other video that goes into explaining it. I'll leave the link to that in one of the corners. The next thing that I learned is that dry hair does not grow. The only thing dry hair is good for is breaking off. It's snapping off. When your hair is dry, it's prone to breakage. It easily snaps off due to the like tiniest things. This is where a lot of guys go wrong. They underestimate the importance of keeping their hair moisturized. It goes beyond just moisturizing your hair for the week so that it feels soft, right? Every time you manipulate your hair, every time you go to style your hair, you should be operating on damp, hair. Bonus points if you add something like a leave-in conditioner or a rinse-out conditioner to add slip, so that your hair isn't like, there isn't a bunch of friction between the hair strands. Another thing that I learned quite early on is that hair products are very important. You can't just pick up any brand and use that for your hair routine. And the thing is, you rarely notice how bad the brand that you're using is until you use something that's better. The best example that I could think of was my first year when I started growing out my hair. I was using products like Cantu and Shea Moisture. Cantu was always in my mom's bathroom cabinet. That's all I knew. That's all I knew was out there. So obviously you feel some inclination like, okay, if my family used it, then it should be good for me. No, that's not how it works. It wasn't until I started using brands like Camille Rose that I realized, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is how my hair would actually look if I use the right products. Choosing hair products can be a real hassle, especially when you have to try out one, try out the next one, and it's almost like it's a huge process of trial and error. That's why I wanted to make it easier for you guys. So I made a downloadable PDF. It's 18 pages. It goes over 48 different hair products for low porosity hair and high porosity hair. It's separated into those two. If you want to take out the guessing work, you don't want to have to try everything out for yourself and waste a bunch of money, you can go down in the description, go click that link, get that, use that to get your products and finally have better looking hair. Now, a lot of you guys have heard me talk about this next tip, but it is so important. Spamming protective styles is the GOAT when it comes to growing your hair quickly. If you don't know what protective styles are, they're simply styles that tuck away the ends of your hair and limit manipulation. Some examples are cornrows, two-strand twists, box braids. But the way that I see protective styles, they're like a time skip. If you get the style at the beginning of the month, what you can do is you can pull down your hair, see how long it is, put it away, and then for the next 4 weeks, you're basically chilling. All you have to do is pay attention to your scalp, oil your scalp, moisturize your scalp, all of that stuff. And then when you finally take the braids out and you get to look at your hair for like the first time afterwards, your hair looks so much longer because you weren't micromanaging it throughout the time. If you were to watch paint dry, or however the saying goes, right? If you just sat down and looked at it, it would take forever. But if you paint the house and then you'd be like, all right, let me go get groceries. Let me go do something else. Let me go to a park. Let me go watch one of Tarek's videos. When you returned, it would be like, this wasn't that long. It will save you so much stress, so much time, so much anxiety. I should get cornrows right now. This next tip is something that I actually figured out pretty early on in my hair journey. I don't think a lot of guys have hopped onto this yet, but don't sleep on the female content creators. I know you guys are out there searching up curly hair routines for black men, or curly hair routines for men, best hairstyles for men 2020 something. What I realized is, even if you're not doing the same hairstyles as them, you could learn a lot of things from their videos. I honestly feel like I learned the majority of what I know from watching videos from black women. Whether it's sectioning my hair, what products to use, techniques like twisting up your hair, working in sections and stuff like that. I think Uncle Iroh said it best, is that you have to learn from other nations, right? For you to be whole. I think he said something like that. And the most important tip, leave your hair alone. Continuously manipulating your hair, checking your hair's length, doing all of this stuff is not gonna make your hair grow any faster. Hair growth is a slow process, and the less you tug at your hair, the less you bother it, the more progress you will see. And if your hair is still short, you're definitely gonna like this video where I go over what to do if you can't put your hair in sections. That's all for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.